AVGO has clawed its way back to the top of the leaderboard, so I thought I would take a look at it. It also reports earnings on Friday. We ended the day at $183.20, up 6.63%. To the north side takes us to one level of resistance at 2 standard deviations, and that is roughly 185.97. Above that, at another potential take profit area, 189.61. And should we be so lucky as to get to 4 standard deviations, 193.48. To the south side takes us back to the middle of the trend and one level of support and a potential buy-in area, 178.46. Another potential buy-in area, 176.58. This gap closes to the downside at roughly 172. And -2 standard deviations and another level of support. And you know what happens at support, 171.01, 167.25, and 163.61. Looking left, you can see a clear buy-in at support, running up to resistance, and then just grinding sideways, selling off. Anytime you hit resistance, you can expect a little bit of a pullback. This gap is still in play to the downside, but if the earnings report comes out gangbusters, this ticker, well, we might not get there from here. It could just take off, or we could make our way down, close out this gap, and then possibly go up to the next leg. And I'll look at that in just a moment, the price target. So we've got from down here going up resistance. You know what is going to happen, or at least you can anticipate it. But we gapped up, so that's why we created this gap to the downside. Didn't quite make it up here, but busted through resistance, falling back down, support, support, bounce, bounce. And then we gapped up and created this. Wait, yeah, let me move this over. Created this gap, 172. I'm going to be consistent and keep it. It's give or take. And this gap that I have been tracking closed. So we gapped down, so that means the gap will close to the south, to the north side. And it touched right there at 170, so that is no longer in play. But that was a nice little gap up. And if you picked it up down there, that was a return of roughly 7.85%. And when I talked about this ticker, when Murat pointed it out, CLS, AVGO, and ANET to me, he said that there's a lot of potential in these 3 tickers. And so I will be tracking this. But when he pointed it out, the price ended the day at 163.90. We were grinding our way just along this line, fell down, and then we've clawed our way back up. That is very nice to see. And that is a return of roughly 12.79%. Not too shabby. Beats sticking your money in the bank. Don't do it. Chase only pays 0.00001 or something ridiculous. There are so many other vehicles to park your money with 0 risk and much more potential to the upside. All of these gaps closed out, so I didn't track it. I go in waves. I'll look at something for a while and then I will stop. So that one closed, that one closed, that one closed. All right. Let's take a look at this though on the daily. And I'll give you, all right, there's nothing to the south side there. So the target, when I looked at this back in July, the target was 194.13, which represented a 20% return from when I looked at it. So now we are basically at the middle of the trend here on the daily, because again, you'll get different buy and sell signals, and this constantly changes. So the next target after we hit this will be, in my opinion, my humble opinion, 204.79. Let's take a look at what the analysts say. So the next target is 195.62, so that's changed just a little bit. But if you only just recently got in, that's only a 6% return from where we were. And it was a 20% return when I looked at it. But look at this, bounce, bounce. If you're being conservative, typically that's where you would pick up some shares. But the different time frames will tell you the different buy and sell signals. So you could get it for better, or you could have picked it up at too high of a level. Oh, let me go back. So that's the target, and then 240, based off of 47 analysts. That's a 31% upside from where we are. So that beats the 6.78 if you believe in the big picture that this will go higher. All right. So, oh, wait a minute. 240. So what did I say that I thought it was going to go to? That's 204.40, 214, and 223. Let's flip this to the weekly. Again, different buy and sell signals. 191.58, and then I stopped tracking out at the blue line, 212. And I don't think on the monthly, yeah, I have to change the length of the linear to get the lines on here. But 240 takes us to this line right here. Yeah, that's okay. Now let's go back to the daily. So that's the target. Oh, but if we continue to go up, that target, if it touches, well, this line, that's going to be taking you to 220. That's 263. You know what? Let me just do one other thing. Okay, so the outer band, we could right here. This could happen in March. Sometime in March. Oh, that is of 20, the outer band. Maybe, yeah, 26? I don't know. Okay, I take that all back. We're just going to take this a day at a time, a week at a time, until these calculations change. We are not in the zone, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, not yet to this level on the weekly. But maybe, okay, April of 2025. Don't hold your breath. Okay, I want to move on to the next one. And that's Tesla. We hit a high today, so congratulations if you are in this trade. Trader JD says he thinks I should sell my shares at 450 because I was vacillating. I've been tracking this for a very long time, and originally I was going to sell when we hit this gap at 405, and I didn't because I really wanted to let it ride. And so he sent me a message and said 450. So I'm going to take a look at that in just a moment. But first, this is the 5-minute time frame, your price targets for Friday. 430.85 if we continue to go up. 435.88, and then the outer band 440.46. Don't hold your breath though. And then back to the support area, 421.30, 411.75, 406.91, and 402.08. Don't hold your breath for it to get maybe even to this level. I don't think so. In one day anyway. This little gap opened up, but it's closed. All right, 450 takes me to right about here. I have traded this ticker for my sister before the split in the 600s. I think I made her an extra $100 a share or something like that. But that'd be nice if we got back to that level. All right, 450 is here. So that could touch maybe in December if we continue to go up. Yeah, fingers crossed there. But I like that. But I'm going to see, should I let it ride or get out? Because I will show you something on the daily, the weekly, the monthly. So we've got this gap to contend with, this gap, this gap, this gap. We are moving farther away because you can see that we are in an upward channel in the short term here. And, oh, I have to clean up. So I mentioned that I was tracking this to 405.96. Oops. As you can see, I've been charting this for a little while here, and it's getting to be messy, but it touched right here on Tuesday, this gap. So let me just clean this up, and then I will recap this also on the Gap and Go video, because this is part of my Gap and Go video, and now I'm done tracking this because this has hit my target, but there's still lots more upside potential. And I don't think this has changed since I looked at it at 472. See, that's the thing, 472. If I just hang on a little longer, these are all the weeks I've traded and tracked Tesla to make it back up to this level. It's been forever, it seems. So on the daily, this is where we are. So the next target, 434.11, and this has to recalculate, so I'm not going to look at that right now or reset it. So let's just go to the weekly. So that's going to take us, right there on the weekly time frame, back up to 2 standard deviations. And that's where JD thinks I should get off the gravy train. This line, all the yellow lines were once support and resistance lines, but basically the middle of the trend. And the middle of the trend has now turned into resistance. And then down here, those lines have turned into support. And then I anticipate a bounce off of the support. So yeah, Murat has also been tracking this with me for a very long time. And he said, support line from August 2020 to November 2020. May see 130s at the end of December 2022 if Fed increases rate of 0.5% or more. I want to show you, we're on the weekly. The lowest I bought into Tesla was 112.25. I still own these shares, anything in pink I still own. It's like I can't let it go because it's like one of my houses. It takes me forever to buy one, or Tesla gets into my zone and then it takes off, and then it's hard for me to let it go. Harder for me to sell, easy for me to buy. And I'm terrible at letting go, but I really should, because this thing will whip you around like Nate says. It is a volatile. It's like a toddler. It'll throw up on you, spit you around, take you for a joyride, rob you of all your money, and boom, you think you're out. And then all of a sudden it runs up like gangbusters. And now that he's in the Trump administration, deep in the Trump administration, I think things are definitely going to turn around. And it has been turning around for Tesla. Thank the Lord. We've suffered so much already. And so has this economy. But things are changing. My count has hit another record high. I've been hitting record highs like crazy, and I hope you have been too. And if you've not traded before and you're just learning, it will come to you. Everything will make sense to you as you look at this every single day. I look at thousands and thousands of tickers, and I'm shocked that I have looked at that, but it's made me a much better trader. Do I get still whipped around? Heck yeah, but that's my own fault because I don't set stop losses because I'm terrible. All right, let's go to the next one, which is I got 4% battery left, so I have to go. CVS is the one I want to look at because it's at the bottom of the leaderboard, and I love this. It hit a 52-week high. I'm sorry if you're in it and you're losing money, but for those of us who want to get in, this is looking better for us. So option R to reset. We're back on the 5. I'm going to give you levels. And I've tracked this many times in the past, but not recently. Oops. Middle of the trend, 52.79, 54.33, 55.12, 55.90, 51.26, 50.48, 49.66. The 1 year price target. Okay, this thing has gotten so many bad news going against this, and which is why I love it. Could it go down even more? Yes. But I like it when a stock is beaten down, and okay, this is very bad of me to say, so don't listen to what I say. This is how I like to play it. When I see a strong sell on a ticker that should be doing better, also within Vanguard's total stock market index fund, they're the ones that do the research for me. They do the fundamentals. They put it in their ETF, and I like it. I don't do the fundamentals as much as I should. Marat does that. Other people do that. I'm horrible, so I appreciate it when you guys tell me the fundamentals. But it says a strong sell. I'm a contrarian. If it says sell, I like to buy or get ready to buy. But that's only in a quality ticker. Don't mistake that for penny stocks or junk things or meme tickers that people drive up and then they pull the rug on you. That's not what I'm talking about. So the 1 year price target is still $66.32. That's a 28% return from where we are. That's the 1 year, sorry, the 1 year price target. After that, 57, they're saying 57 and then 66 and then 80. Nothing more to the red side, to the downside. So that's good. So don't always believe everything you hear because I don't know who's trying to flush us out, and they could be correct, but I just take everything with caution. On the 5, getting into the buy zone, looking good. On the daily, more room to go to the downside. We're not overextended. So definitely, I'm going to anticipate this will go down even more. The lowest we've been on with the RSI. Oh, by the way, if my computer dies, I'm just going to end it this way, okay? So on the daily, all right. Oh, well, do we have anything else? Come on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oops. Hit the wrong thing. What's that? Let's just, good Lord. Oh, I'm just going to find out what is the lowest point. Now I'm going to option R to reset. So the lowest, oh my goodness, on the daily went down to here. So let me delete this. You don't need too many things on your chart. You're just going to get confused and give yourself a headache. Go back and clean up the chart. 660, okay? So we've got plenty of room. The past has shown us it could go down to this level. Will it go down? Not necessarily. It could start turning around, but right now this is going straight down on the daily. On the weekly, where are we? Do this. That way you kind of have an idea of where things could start turning around. I'm not an analyst. I don't pretend to be one, but sometimes I can figure this out myself. I don't need if there were no analysts, you'd have to do it yourself. If you learn how to do it yourself, you don't have to rely on anyone. Then you can just blame yourself and not the analysts or anybody else. Okay. So this has room to go down. It has not turned around yet. So more downside action, but because there's downside action, I'm going to put this, so I don't forget it, on my list. Oops. Ignore my notes there. Option R. Oh, and we have something to look forward to. This little baby gap. It's a tiny one, but I'll take it. All right, and because we're going up, that I intuitively know is going to be in green. I keep myself straight, and that in green too. So at a quick glance, I know that that is to the upside. And then start looking for other gaps, and that one gap filled already. All right, that's done. There's downside action there. That closed out. So go back to the daily and look for your gaps. Now what I'm going to do is put this on my MCHP, and I'm going to put this on my list that I'm tracking for Nate, my new watch list. So number 6 is going to be CVS. Today is December 11th. And Trader JD says he likes this ticker. So I'm going to give you some price targets. I like to write this so I know when I go back where price has been. Okay, this is the 5-minute. This list is starting to build. I'm putting the tickers down, but that doesn't mean I'm buying it. The only one I already bought Dow, Intel, and that's what I own on these two, on this watch list for right now. And to the north side, 62.33, 64.05, 64.93, and the outer bands take us to 65.84, 60.62, 59.71, and roughly 58.88. And the 1-year price target is 84.67, which represents a 37% return, but from where we are, but to the downside of that, but still upside. 70, 84, and 95. And how many analysts? 26. All right. Let's take a look at this on the daily really quickly. Oh, I've got to clean up all of these gaps that I have been tracking. If you like to go short, those gaps to the south side help you to go short. And then this one touched right here. So I'll go back and play around with that. I won't bore you. And now I have 2% battery left. So to the upside, 78.14. And to that $84 range, that will be right here. Let me just mark that out. 84.67. Let me change that really quickly and put it in white so that way I know that is my price target. Now we're still going slowly down. See that? It's not a steep incline, but we were grinding, I should say, along the middle of the trend before going to the downside. So resistance is up here. All right, back to the 5-minute. See, we're not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close on the 5-minute time frame, but something to look forward to. And then this gap up to 70.33. All right, that does it for me. Have a great trading day.